special live event in the middle of a Monday, in the evening of a Monday, if you're on the East Coast, where we are bringing you guys, as promised, a very special guest.
For the very first time on our platform, this is such an honor to have with us today the incredible Dr. Linda Loudon. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. It's awesome to be here with you guys.
She's coming direct from Starbucks.
This woman was on a house call and couldn't quite make it back in time for life, and still found a place to land. Went and got ear pods because she didn't have any with her, and found a spot at the Starbucks to land and do this interview with us. You're just incredible. You're inspiring. I would be a hot sweaty mess.
Total.
You gotta be scrappy.
You are, woman boss all the way. I love it.
Oh my goodness. So this is going to be fun because today we're going to be talking about the incredible Canine Leadership Summit. I know our beautiful friends and family here are like, what? Did I just hear that right? But this is a really extraordinary event that is coming up. Before we get into all the deets, though, and why it's important for us cat people as well, Dr. Linda Loudon, for anyone here who doesn't know you, who doesn't know your background, who doesn't know how you're changing this world into a much more beautiful place, could you give us a little intro?
Yeah. So I am known for canines. Because canines have been just the love of my life. But I've been an ER doctor for 23 years, so I've treated a lot of wonderful kitties, seen a lot of kitties have issues, and actually, well, I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later. A cat patient was the one who got me out of the ER and online because it was such a significant story for me. So I love kitties as well. And I loved being an ER doctor for 23 years. I've always known that I was a healer and that I was meant to help animals in any way that I could. And it's been a great career. But I pivoted a couple of years ago from full-time in the ER to starting an online business, and now multiple online businesses, because in the ER, I had the unique perspective of seeing what was happening with animals' lives and their health. And I saw lives getting shorter, drastically shorter over the 23 years. I saw more immune-mediated diseases than ever before, chronic diseases like crazy because of the way we were feeding and over-vaccinating and giving them pesticides in and on them every single month. And it was obvious to me in the ER. I would see them seizuring after a pesticide was placed on them or in them. I would see immune-mediated disease in dogs, a week or two after they were over-vaccinated. So I saw firsthand what was happening, and I needed to get to the guardians before they came to my ER, because a lot of times by the time they got to me, it was too late, and it was heartbreaking. And so I pivoted to starting an online business to get in front of more people.
This is so incredible. And I have to say, I always think of like an emergency room doctor as very serious. I had the same experience kind of when we met Dr. Barry Sands, also works in the ER.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh my goodness, she's incredible.
Yeah.
The vibe from you, very similar with Barry, very calm, very joy-filled. And I think, that's the healer in you coming out. But I can't imagine, let's talk about that a little bit, what it's like to have that kind of heart and be in a place where people are in that really critical, sometimes hysterical moment, coming in with issues that may or may not have been able to be prevented.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're built for it or you're not, to be honest, and I just always knew that I wanted to be the one that was there when it really, really mattered, like when it was life or death. I wanted to be there when they needed me most, and that's how I felt about being an ER doctor. And I, like you saw me, I just had to run to Walgreens and get my ear pods and run into Starbucks and get online within 4 minutes. And again, I don't get too stressed, right? Because
incredible.
I'm an ER doctor, and I've learned how to manage my nervous system when it comes to things like that. Not that I never get stressed, but I know how to handle those types of situations. Like the more severe the situation, the calmer I will get, because I know that that I have to do that. And is this sound still okay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
sound great.
I know that I'm not going to get through it. The animal's not going to get through it. The guardian's not going to get through it unless I show up in that space, in that form. And so I've just always been that way. And being in there as an ER doctor, it's so rewarding because you are there. I love being there for the people just as much as I love being there for the animals because they need help during that. They don't expect this to happen. They're stressed, they're upset, they're scared. And I can also show up for them as well as their pet. And it's such an opportunity that I'm so grateful that I've had so many times over. And it's a blessing to be able to show up for people in that space.
Tell us about this kitty that was your last straw or your turning point for getting out of full-time ER and going into more proactive.
Yeah. This kitty, he was a little black kitty that was 16 years old and he was living his best life. His owner was a single woman who was devoted to him. And she just started to get some fear about losing him because he was like her guy. This was her partner in life right now. And so she decided to take him to the vet after him not being to the vet since he was a kitten. And which I'm fine with, honestly. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think cats see the vet sometimes too much because it's very stressful on them. I would rather them stay home and try to find a house call a vet, try to manage some things on your own before stressing them out into a vet's office.
Yeah.
So I was fine with her having a healthy cat for 16 years that hadn't been to the vet since he was a kitten. So no judgment there. But she felt like, okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing everything I can. I want him to live as long as possible. I'm going to take him into the vet. And she went into the vet and told the vet, he's doing great, but he's drinking a little bit more, eating voraciously, losing a little bit of weight. Otherwise, he's very happy and doing great. So you know that he's probably hyperthyroid. So he's probably got that underlying disease. So the vet took blood to rule that out, but then gave him 4 vaccines. 4
At
vaccines
in that one visit?
in that one visit. Didn't wait for blood work to come back. Gave a 16-year-old indoor-only cat 4 vaccines, like every possible vaccine you could give a cat. And he came to me on a Friday night in the ER, flat out, anemic. His body was shutting down from it. His body couldn't handle it. And I spent the entire weekend trying to save him. And I couldn't. And on Sunday, I had to go into that room and tell this owner that I couldn't save him. And the look in her eyes, when you know that she thought, I made that decision that killed my cat. I took him to that vet and made that choice. And you could see it going through her mind and just watching her fall to the floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, that's it. And I called that vet and I was on the phone with an hour with him. And he honestly was an older vet. I honestly felt he was doing the best. Like he wasn't in a corporation trying to get more money for vaccines. That's what he had been taught. That's what he thought he should do. And by the end of the conversation, he's like, okay, Dr. Loudon, you've made me rethink some things. I mean, he was in his 80s. He'd been doing this a long time. Really nice veterinarian, nice man. And he felt bad. He still wasn't totally convinced the vaccines killed the cat, but they obviously did. The cat was fine before the vaccines and was dying within hours of them. So, but he changed his mindset that he would at least never vaccinate an animal without getting the blood work back first. In an older patient, and I talked him into stopping vaccines at a certain age in cats. So we did make some headway, but I'll never forget that woman's face and the emotions, and that cat who had more years than him. And I was like, I got to get in front of these people before they make these decisions. And that was it.
So you decided that you were going to take your education and bring it online so that you can catch more pet parents proactively with that education.
Yeah, I really wanted to share my perspective, and the vets, for the most part, aren't quite ready to hear it. So it is a hard space to be in when everybody is conventional around you, and they're not picking up what you're giving out. They're just, you talk nutrition. It would drive me nuts is if one of their pets were critical, I'd be the one they called, because they think, okay, if someone's going to save it, Dr. Loudon will. But if I opened my mouth and tried to tell them about nutrition, it was like I had no idea what I was talking about. It was crazy. So I had to go for several reasons, but I really felt like I could share my perspective with guardians and help them make better decisions around healthcare for their pets while we're waiting for the vet community to catch up.
And so I'm guessing that this whole
come back. There you are.
We got you. Okay. We thought we lost you for a second. Can you hear us?
Yes, that was my husband Tim's fault. We'll have to yell at him later for calling me.
So what I'm guessing is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you decided to start this leadership summit to help grow the voices then in the community that are speaking and inspire others to also become a voice for the animals.
Yeah, exactly. I never thought I would be teaching business, because it was like, I hated learning the business side of things. I'd be like, come on, Linda, you're a surgeon. You can figure out how to do an email list, like it drove me nuts. And then when I finally got it, I was like trying to teach everybody. I was like, you need an online business. You need an online business. Like my poor friends, I wouldn't shut up about it. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I love teaching this now. And if I can teach canine nutritionists and these holistic pet health coaches and holistic vets who want to start online businesses and create courses and coaching programs, if I can elevate them up with their business, then I'm making an even greater impact. Then we're all doing it together. And so that was my aha moment, and that's where the summit came in, because I was like, let's just get those who are rocking it and share your secrets so that we can raise this community together.
I have to say too, you have such a gift for really being able to share information, and what a gift to the entire pet community that you were able to take your 23 years of experience and really start, because let's be honest, people are always asking us if we're vets, and then they're like, we're not listening to you, you're not a veterinarian. Totally get that, right? And I was the same way. Jay could tell me something until she was blue in the face that she had studied and researched, but until I heard it from a veterinarian, I was like, right? So you being able to segue that your gift to heal into digestible, educational, empowering information for pet parents is an incredible thing. But what a lot of people don't realize is what all goes into. It's not just putting up a video. It's not just picking a handle. Or getting an email.
The amount of people, Dr. Loudon, the amount of people that have been like, oh, how is that cat thing that you're doing? is still to this day. We're 10 years in now. And
oh my goodness.
We're both full time for many years, and it's a lot more than just
people don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, but it is, and speak to the need of it, because I believe that you're putting on this Canine Leadership Summit that is really going to be so impactful for people that do have things to share that can help all of us, elevate all of us. What was the question? The why that goes into that, of being able to sit down and help people figure out the things that are frustrating.
Yeah, because I've been there, and I heard I've taken a lot of courses on how to start your online business, spent a lot of money on courses, came out of the courses still needing to learn a lot on my own. But one thing I remember, one big takeaway from these courses was, you are best positioned to help the person you work. And when I figured out this business side of things, I was like, I know how they feel, I know how frustrating it is. I know that I felt like turning back quite a few times when I was like, all right, it's easier actually for me to go in and do a 14-hour ER shift than figure this shit out, you know? And so you're thinking like, okay, and that's where the why comes in, right? That why of why must I do this? Why must I burn the boats? Why must I make this happen no matter what? No plan B,
Right.
and that is
Who read that book?
Burn the boats.
I think Tony Robbins said that. Burn the
Oh,
boats.
there is a book.
There's a book called Burning the Boats.
But
Is
and it's
there?
talking about no plan B. Like
Right?
Yeah,
go,
you can, or else you're going to turn back. You're going to take the easy way out,
Yeah.
and that's when you got to commit to that dream, to that service that you really want to bring to the world, to those goals. And if you have no plan B, you will figure it out. And I just want to be that person who's going to encourage these students, these experts, these entrepreneurs to keep going. And here I'll show you the path. It's possible.
It's so true because there's so many gifts, and I love how this community is growing and how many more resources there are. You know, we see it through the lens of the feline resources that are out. And yet, 10 years ago, there was hardly anything. And now we see it just growing. And I want to talk about the speakers a little bit because
but I really do feel like the people that are like, because there's a lot of small businesses in the cat health world, right? Like of like minds as us, but not quite sure how to like take that next step,
Right.
how to get over those certain things and like where to go and what do I need to do. And just like us at the beginning, we're just like, well, let's throw a noodle at that and see if it sticks. Let's see, let's just try all these different things. And I think this for the cat community can also be super, super helpful because it's about pet businesses, right? It's not about dog specific or cat specific. And thank you so much. We are honored that you asked us to be a part of this and represent the kitties too in this leadership summit. But I really think that I really want more of these people who are thinking about starting a business around cats and cat health, those who have just started and are still just like, how do I get, what's the best route? I just, this is going to be super powerful. And I want to see more cat people attend this event for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of them are pet parents, right? Kitty parents who have been through what this woman went through, where they got angry that they lost a pet too soon, and they went and they educated themselves and they learned for their next pet. And now let's take that information and make a difference with it, not just with your next pet, but with other people's pets. And this is a great opportunity to come into the summit and learn how to do it.
Yeah. We're going to change the world.
The tools. And what I love about the speakers, and I think there's two that we have not met yet that we're very excited to see their talks as well. But everyone else that you have, some extraordinary people. And so many of them, I think what makes it so powerful is just like you, that kind of that Genesis moment. There is something that motivates them to go outside their comfort zone and make a bigger difference. I feel like you're so impactful, and we would not have met you. We never would have been at your ER. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't have access to your brain and your knowledge and in the ways that you learn, you help others learn that I'm sure you were doing at the ER with all the pet guardians that came in. But
the technology of online is now like allows us all to connect, to be together, and to instead of we're always talking about collaboration over competition, and how a rising tide lifts all boats, and how like when
those boats again.
But the fact that we're like able to all come together and work together to make a bigger difference, and then this brilliant idea of let's teach others too on how to do it so we can expand this even more. I just think it's brilliant.
And it really speaks to our community because everybody was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I'm not paying any of the speakers. Everybody was like, yes, I want to do that. I want to make a difference in that way. And it's just so beautiful. it's so beautiful how everybody in this space really has, it's about mission, right? It's about mission, it's about service, and we all help each other and we want to help others to make a difference. And it's a beautiful thing. And when you bring, I mean, last year was my first one. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like, I'm just going to have a summit. No idea. And threw it together in like 4 months, which I don't recommend doing, but it turned out beautifully. I have people telling me it was the best summit they've ever been to. People left so inspired. It was inspirational because I also, sorry, I'm like shaking my phone, but I also had, we've got business minds there sharing their secrets, but I have like Noelle Theodor, who's my dear friend from Switzerland, coming in, who's mindset coach, talking, going to do amazing meditation. And so it's not just like, here are the facts. It is a cool experience.
Oh, that's awesome. She's one of the ones that we don't know. One of like the two.
Oh, you're going to fall in love with her.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just like, I still have people, I have my dog mom membership, my dog mom society, and they still talk about Noelle from last year. Like, she's amazing. And then Isla Fishburne is also going to be talking about connection with your patients and on a different level, not just the business. So it's going to be really cool.
It really is one of the most empowering things. I mean, just looking at the lineups that you have, Rita Hogan is going to be
Oh
there.
my God, I freaking love her.
Yeah,
Dr.
I mean,
Judy Morgan and I
Amanda, who's here right now.
Amanda
Hi, Amanda, we
Wilburn.
love you.
We love you
her.
so much.
She's the best.
Incredible. And I think what's really powerful to me is that just like you, so many of these people are making a difference or have impacted our lives or people in our community because their purpose comes from a place of pain, something that is always haunting, like you experience. For us, you know, the whole reason that we're doing this is really because we've made a lot of mistakes. We have a lot of things you can,
A lot of them.
that we hope people.
We all have. We all have, right? I mean, I've been an ER doctor and I made some terrible mistakes on my own pets that I was like, damn, if I wish I had known that then, they may have lived a little bit longer. But
Yeah.
then we have to, take that. That's a lesson, not a failure, right? And share it and put it into our next pets. And
Yep.
Yeah, because we can't know what we don't know yet.
no.
And that, you know, that is the hard part of being human is once you know it, you have regrets, right? But it instead can propel you forward to help
For sure.
people.
It can be your fuel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
And I see that all the time because I think a lot of the times these pet parents, like this one I spoke about, they're the parents, like we talk, Karen and Rodney talk about 2.0 pet parents.
Yeah.
Like those are the parents who do anything for their pets. So they're doing all the things. They're doing everything that's recommended, which is so sad, right? Because they're doing all the vaccines and they don't need all of them. They're doing all the pesticides because they tell them that's what they need. They give that prescription food because they say that's the best. And those are the people that end up suffering because, you know, I have a home euthanasia business and I'll go into these homes and I'll see all the medications on the counter. I'll see the dry food in the bowl and I'll see all of, you know, the chronic things they were doing that were wrong. And it just breaks my heart because these people would have done anything to let this pet live a day longer, you know? And when they find out that they could have, it's hard, but we do have to use that as our fuel, like she said.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we always say, you know, our animals are our greatest teachers. And sometimes those lessons are really hard, but they're here for a reason to teach us certain things. And a lot of times it's so that we can do better, or maybe all the time it's so that we can do better.
I know, right? Probably is. Yeah, there are guides for sure.
Yeah, once we know better, we can do better. But I think this summit is going to be so impactful because there is so much to learn about being able to share information. You know, I think that
and how
this online world is changing pretty much every week now, right?
Yeah, it's
and being able to navigate it in a way that is still helpful, that really gets the word out there, because that is so true. Once we know better, we can do better. And when it's motivating to share with people, like you said, give pet parents the information before they end up at your ER.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's so much that goes into that.
And I think also for all of us who want to help others rise, the summit's a great place to show others that we're no different. We're no different than you. We
Right.
learned just as you're learning about business. You have valuable information. Your voice matters. And just because I have doctor in front of my name doesn't mean that I'm any better than you. You have just as much of a reason to speak loud and help people. And I think the summit is a great place to show people that they might look at us like, oh, look, they're killing it. They have this many followers. Or, well, yeah, it took me, I made 2 years. I didn't make any money doing this, you know, nothing, zero. And I was like, am I going to figure this out? And so it's a great place to show people you can figure it out. It will work. We're no different than you. And here's some tips, and here's a path, a roadmap that you can follow and get you here.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true when you do find your passion. I think there's a lot of people probably listening that are like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so passionate about this, but I don't like making videos. I don't know anything about email lists. I don't know, like, all of the tools that go into it. I think for someone like me, if it weren't for Jay's business brain, it's like, well, I'll find someone that can help me figure out how to. And so often that's the paralyzing moment, right? Because that person is not coming. This summit helps you realize that you are that person.
You are that person. So
And there is that support system. I love that you have people coming to help with like the coping mechanisms, even of
yes,
what it is to sustain yourself, keep the mindset, make
That's
sure.
so
right?
important.
Oh, because you will.
Burnout is a real thing.
Right.
And
yeah. And you work. You feel like you're working so much hours a day, not getting anywhere for a while until you get that traction and that momentum and things start to happen. It feels like you're speaking to a void. No one's out there. But even if you help one person at the beginning, you've changed a life.
it
And
makes a difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I love
so great.
Okay, so the dates are February 28th, this Friday, right?
Yes.
Friday is the VIP package, right? And
It
then
is. Friday's a VIP package, which is going to be pretty awesome because we're doing some giveaways. VIP members are going to have a chance to win a free $350 one-on-one session with me on the Friday night if they show up. Then we're doing some breakout rooms where you're going to leave on Friday night with 3 major decisions for your business figured out by the time you start on Saturday. So you're going to feel really empowered for this weekend. You're going to have some big things completed by the time we finish Friday night, and it's going to be fun too. We're going to have some fun people there.
Wow.
You guys,
huge. That's huge. So
really
there's
exciting.
like you're starting it off with momentum.
yes, yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's 10 to 7. It'll probably be going later than 7, but all day, both days. And then on Sunday, we've got our VIP lunch, which last year was chaos because everybody wanted in the VIP lunch like minutes before it started. So if you want VIP, get your VIP ticket now, please, and make it easier for us because everybody said the VIP on the Sunday was worth their ticket price. So it's going to be great.
So quick logistical question, because that is difficult. You guys listen to that.
Yes.
Get it, because right there at the last minute, it's like, oh wait, this person. Very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just lost my question. I just rambled all over
VIP.
myself. For people that get tickets and say they have an unexpected interruption of their weekend, are the sessions going to be recorded, or do you have access to them? How does that work?
Yes. For VIP attendees, they have recordings for life. If you have a general admission, you have the recordings for a week after.
Cool. That's awesome. All right.
That is fantastic.
All right. So the link to join for any of you guys, and I see a few names I think would be great for this summit. The link to join is in the description here. So both on YouTube and Facebook. So you can click right there. And Dr. Loudon has offered a beautiful discount code for you guys at checkout. which is at the bottom of the screen right here. Summit 20 off, all one word. Summit 20 off at checkout to get a discount there. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for that.
Of course.
For everyone that's just getting to know you and is falling in love like we did, where can people best go to keep up with what you're doing, to just follow along in your journey?
Yeah, thank you. Facebook, Dr. Loudon, DrLoudon, is a great place to find me. My website, I've got Dr. Loudon Canine, K and 9.com. That's where you can find a lot of stuff there. I've got my dog mom membership on there. And then I've got 2 websites. I know, like business wise, like I promise I'm fixing it, but I've got drloudon.com is where you find my blog. And although all of my blogs are centered for canines, most of them can be related to cats. And like you said, I would love to come on another time and just talk about kitty emergencies so that we can help some guardians avoid the emergency room with their kitties.
Yes, we would love to have you on
That'd
our podcast.
be really good.
Yeah, that would be fantastic to hear from you about that.
And I have to say, your Dr. Loudon K9, letter K, number 9, great website. So when you click that link to go check out the summit, if you just hit the homepage, it'll take you to your main website. So it's just beautifully done. From other entrepreneurs that are doing their own website. Oh, this is my IT person right here.
When you're a business owner, you're everything, right? You're the customer.
Yes, you wear all the hats.
You wear all the hats. Yeah, you figure it out.
Yes. Yeah, and I just moved part of my website into Kajabi, and that's the one you're talking about, to separate from my other businesses. So we're still in the middle of that, but both websites are good to get some good information.
I love this. I really hope anyone who is, still working the day job, but their passion is just keeping them up at night. Their wheels are turning. They really know they are meant to do something powerful and empowering. This is the summit you must come to. This is really, you're going to be sharing all the tools and the incredible speakers that you have. I just feel like everyone's personal stories plus all their expertise, it really is going to be an explosive opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to learn so much.
Oh, we are.
And it's
I will too. Last year, I was like, I came away with so many tips and tricks, and even Rita today, she was like, I learned so much last year. I was like, yeah, me too. It's just great, and you get to know all of us a little bit more. If you've been following someone in our space, you're going to hear personal stories, like you said. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, and that's a good point. For anyone here listening that's like, oh, I'm not planning on doing that, or I'm retired, or whatever it is, the resources, the incredible people that you've invited to come speak, they are incredible people to also follow along their journey. They will have, and that's what's incredible is the stories. Their why is one of those things that really resonates with people. It is exactly what you said earlier. We're all basically the same. We all love these beautiful beings that we share our lives with. So just to have access or even be exposed to these caliber of human beings is really going to be a gift.
We're very excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you guys, and you're going to talk about how to build a community of raving fans, because you have done that so amazingly.
We'll have to ask them about that. We don't even know how it happened.
Oh my gosh,
it's a beautiful community.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, and I'm glad that we're doing this live with you so that we can, just kind of chat and stuff like that. You'll hear some stories from us too, as far as failures along the way.
Yeah, navigating this.
Not failures.
Journey. No.
Yes, learning lessons. Yes.
Yes. Okay, you guys, for everyone that's interested, if you just want to meet some incredible new people that are putting their gifts and their education, their empowerment out there for all of us to consume, please come. If you are thinking about doing something like this, your passion is burning a hole in your pocket, and you know that you are meant to do something, come and be a part of this, because it will be, I love that you're starting it off with, you've got 3 decisions to make before you show up on Saturday.
Let's get this shit done.
Anything top of mind that we didn't cover just now?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be music. It's not going to be your regular summit. You know, I've had some people be like, "Oh, summits, there's so many of them." No, not like this.
This
No?
is going to be life-changing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Life-changing.
wait. I
Thank you
cannot
so
wait.
much for
Thank
doing
you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking the time to come to the summit and share all of your gifts with us. It's just awesome. It's just reminds me of to be so grateful to be part of such a beautiful community.
Gratitude is
likewise.
the key.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Well, we
And
cannot-
thank you for pulling over and going to Starbucks and getting AirPods so that you
Oh,
can have
I needed a pair for the car anyway, so it worked out.
it worked out just fine.
I'll just keep them in the car so I never have to worry again.
Brilliant.
smart.
Brilliant. Because you
And
never know
and now
what-
I can get my tea and I'm good.
There you
They're
go.
all probably looking at me like, "You're going to buy something.
Right?
Yeah. You're like,
She going to buy something over there?"
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
You should ask them, do you have wine?
I know, right?
5 o'clock
o'clock.
there.
Come on.
After 5
What kind of
p.m.
Starbucks is this?
Start a petition.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to see you this weekend. We cannot wait.
Yes.
This
It's
weekend.
going to be great. It's going to be great. Thank you both so much.
Thank
Thank
you so
you,
much.
Dr. Linda Loudon.
Thank
We'll
you.
See you in a few
we'll
days.
see you in a few days.
See you.
Bye, everybody. Happy
Bye.